Hi, this is Luminous Star. Welcome to the channel. All of my current subscribers, you already know that you are very special to me, and I want to congratulate everyone for sharing their stories. You never know who's going to resonate with your stories. So congratulations to my stars, and another kiss for you. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. We are all thriving forward together, and as you all have noticed, our star family is growing and our star community is also growing. So I want to congratulate all my stars again for helping to make this happen. Everyone who's visiting for the first time, welcome to Luminous Star. Should you become a part of our star community and or family, please don't forget to click the notification bell. That way when I go on live, you'll be able to join us and you won't miss any of the vlogs or the videos. Today's video, be prepared for the narcissist's attempt to hoover you. Please like and or share today's video. Topics of discussion. Identify the Hoover strategies of narcissists and cluster B personality types. Second topic, the importance of knowing who you are. Third topic, embrace your appealing characteristics. Last and final topic, tools, references, and resources of which you can find in the description box below. First point, there are several Hoover tactics that the narcissist has to suck you back into a dysfunctional relationship with him or her. Beware of the narcissist recruiting their flying monkeys and or enablers to hoover you back into a toxic situation. I want to forewarn everyone, especially my stars, that if this is your situation right now, in other words, the narcissist is trying to hoover you back in, please understand that it is all their ego. It's all about their ego. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about anyone. The narcissist is a sore loser. They don't like to lose, especially when it comes to losing primary source supply. So the narcissist may deem you as a primary source supply. So they're not going to be too happy about seeing you going no contact. So there are several Hoover tactics that the narcissist uses to suck you back into a dysfunctional relationship with him or her. And you best believe that that situation is going to favor him or her. The toxic situation, that situation will be toxic to you and only you. Narcissists and cluster B personalities, they only engage and invest in dysfunctional relationships. That is home to him or her. Their false self-image is not threatened or challenged by such an environment. If you're outgrowing the dysfunctional relationship with him or her, and they're now hoovering you back in, this could be a sign that you are outgrowing the dysfunctional relationship with him or her. In other words, if you're uncomfortable with their advances, that can be a clue that you are actually transitioning or outgrowing the dysfunctional relationship with him or her. Okay, so now let's look at several of those hoovering tactics or strategies of narcissists. Seduction. They may become histrionic more than usual. They will use character assassination, cyberbullying, and or stalking. They may use triangulation to hoover you back in. They may use gaslight techniques to hoover you back in. And sometimes they will idealize or love bomb you again, even though you've gone no contact, even though he or she may have given you the silent treatment and seemingly have picked up the new supply. Now I want to say something about the new supply. 9 times out of 10 chances, the new supply was in the narcissist's life for quite some time. After the narcissist has devalued you or discarded you, you may then have noticed the new supply. This is usually how it happens. Now some of us don't realize this until after we've gone no contact. No worries. It still calls for celebration to go no contact from a narcissist any day. So let's go right to the seduction. A lot of narcissists and cluster B personalities are notorious for seducing others. They put on the charm. They seem to have a lot of swag. Okay, so this is something that is very common. They may become histrionic. Narcissists and cluster B personalities, they may become more histrionic than usual. Some narcissists are histrionic anyway. But now that you've gone no contact, or the relationship is over, or it seems to be over, either they have walked away or you have walked away, they become a little bit more histrionic. So any little thing that you say or do may really rub them the wrong way. Okay, and again, they turn up on the shenanigans. So don't be surprised if they are beginning to behave as if they can't even stand in sight of you before becoming agitated. All right, so you can just walk in the room and they act like they have the hives or something, right? Okay, so don't be surprised by that. They may use character assassination. This is when the smear campaigning will come into play. Don't be surprised if you begin to hear and or see things that may have you looking like the bad girl or the bad guy, and having the narcissist look like the saint or the victim who was done wrong. Don't be shocked or surprised by that. A lot of people, if this is a romantic situation, a lot of people are not ready for that when it happens. And it seems to wound them even more. It seems to cut deeper. Okay, so a lot of people are not ready for that. The narcissist already has put into play that they're going to hoover you back in long before they start to devalue you. I know this may be shocking to some people to hear this, but just think about what you have gone through. Think about all of your experiences thus far. In other words, begin to critically think about the theme of the relationship with him or her. What is the theme? The theme of the relationship is what's actually been going on in the relationship. I don't care if it's been a year or 10 years. Once a person starts to reflect or do relationship inventory, they're going to begin to see how the narcissist and cluster B personality from day one have already strategized, if not planned, how they were going to go about devaluation and hoovering you back in. The narcissist and cluster B personality, often what they do is they recycle romantic partners. So the same time that they are devaluing and discarding you, the new supply is being love bombed. The same supply that's been around for a while. Because what the narcissist is also putting into play is the triangulation. So while they are devaluing you and discarding you, they're love bombing the new supply. So that way when you detect him or her, you're probably going to feel some kind of way about it. They may cyber bully. They may cyber stalk you. Okay, so some of you may be wondering, well, why would they call me? Why is my phone blowing up all of a sudden? You know, why are they all on my social media page? Some of you have gone through this, right? So they may begin to turn up on the cyber bullying and or cyber stalking, even though they seemingly have new supply. And this is not always a romantic situation. This could be a family member. The bottom line is, if you have gone no contact, you're outgrowing the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist. Either way, whatever the situation, the narcissist and the cluster B personality, they're sore losers. It's all about their ego. So they're going to try to hoover you back in just to drop you, just to discard of you, just to humiliate you. All right, all over again. So they're setting everything up just to reel you back in and just to treat you, just to give you a second and third helping of the shenanigans. Okay, so the narcissist and cluster B personality, it's not about anyone else. It's not because they care and love so much. It's not because they miss you or anyone else so much. No, it's all about their ego. So when they're hoovering, it's all about that narcissistic supply. It's all about thriving and surviving. It's all about showing loyalty to the false self-image. They have several false self-images. The narcissist false self-images can range anywhere from a victim who can't seem to catch a break to someone who's a martyr. It's all about their false self-images, being fed, surviving, and thriving. Okay, so they may go into the triangulation. We talked about that. They also go into the gaslight technique. This is to get you to doubt your own thoughts, to doubt your feelings, to doubt the ordeal or the experiences you've gone through, to doubt that you are doing the right thing by going no contact, or to live a life without him or her. They want you to, yes, they want you to second guess that. The narcissist and the cluster personality does not want you to critically think about what's actually been going on and how you have possibly been adversely affected by it all. Okay, so idealizing you all of a sudden, now you're the best person in the world again. Narcissists and cluster B personalities tend to see things in black and white. Okay, so they idealize people a lot. The narcissist at one time probably thought you were the greatest thing that ever happened to him or her. And now that they're trying to hoover you back in, they're trying that one again after they have devalued you. And beware that the narcissist and cluster B personality will possibly do just about anything to hoover you back in. It's all about their ego. It's not about anything else. Let's move forward. By practicing self-preservation, keep the narcissist starving, possibly having to go elsewhere to obtain narcissistic supply. Most narcissists are sore losers, especially when it comes to losing primary source supply. Knowing who you are can keep the narcissist's advances of toying with your mind and heart at bay. Okay, so again, it's all about their ego when they're engaged in hoovering you back in. It's all about their ego. So when you know who you are, they cannot play with your mind or your heart, trying to love bomb you again, trying to idealize you again, trying to convince you of who they see you as being. Okay, in other words, you're just the greatest person again. After they have devalued you and discarded you, you were the worst person. See, they cannot play with your mind or your heart when they're trying to hoover you back in, because now you know who you are. So when you practice self-preservation, it's a natural thing to do. The narcissist and the cluster personality, they don't want you to practice self-preservation. They don't want you to become mindful of who you are, because this means they're going to lose supply forever, for good. They don't get to come back. In other words, as long as the narcissist sees signals from you that they can come back, yes, not only is their ego stroked, but their false self-image continues to thrive and survive. Embracing your appealing characteristics could prove to be a real game changer. The narcissist isn't in any emotional or spiritual state to tell you who you are, especially since they see others as their property. Narcissists often play off of the ignorance of others, not knowing who they are, while idealizing the narcissist for who they want him or her to be. Okay, so as I stated before, narcissists and cluster personalities, they have so many false self-images, ranging from the victim to the martyr. When those false self-images are challenged or threatened by your personal growth, by your waking up to seeing who they really are and what they really represent, this is what the discarding, the devaluation, and the new supply is all about. Other than the ego, of course. So when you are beginning to outgrow the dysfunctional relationship, don't be surprised that that particular relationship will fade away by some sort of event, such as somebody saying or doing something that is disheartening, right? I mean, some of us have been in that situation, whereas someone that we thought was our friend or someone that we thought loved us and cared for us, just seemingly out of the blue, they say something or do something that's so disheartening. And they're not apologizing. They seem to feel or think that it is justice to hurt us. A lot of us has been in that situation. And when that happens, I think that that is a signal or a sign that that dysfunctional relationship has to come to an end. That means that someone has outgrown that dysfunctional relationship. Okay, it could be you, it could be them. But the bottom line is, I think that's a sign. Narcissists and cluster personality often see other people as property. So when you factor all of that in, it can be a game changer. Because now you know who you are. You're embracing your own appealing characteristics. The narcissist can't tell you who you are. The narcissist and cluster personality, see, they understand that they have a predatory nature. They have false self-images, partly because they have detached from the part of themselves that would have enabled them to feel empathy for you and others. They have detached from that part of themselves that would have enabled them to feel a deep connection to you and others. So when you factor all that in, the narcissist and cluster personality, they do count on the ignorance of others. They count on other people to continue to have the rose-colored glasses on, idealizing them. So it may be time to take off the rose-colored glasses and embrace your own appealing traits. Believe it or not, the narcissist noticed those appealing traits from day one. Unfortunately, the narcissist and cluster B personality, they tend to use appealing traits of people against him or her. Now let's go ahead and look at the tools. Should the narcissist or cluster B personality discard you, use that time to critically think about the ordeals you've experienced when he or she was around. Avoid social media, text, visits, voicemail messages, and or calls from and to the narcissist. Okay, so that's a tough one. Okay, because when the narcissist and cluster B personality seemingly moves on to the new supply, it's very easy to either forget or overlook that the narcissist and cluster B personality is already planning on hoovering you back in. Now, sometimes they will not do this. It depends on the situation, such as you have awakened, okay? You have already pulled their card, and they know that you see them for who they really are. 9 times out of 10 chances, you will never see that narcissist again. Because they know that you know, right? They know that you know that they are not ideal partners. You figured it out. You've awakened. You've outgrown that dysfunctional relationship, and the narcissist knows it. So they're probably not going to come back around because the odds will be against them to hoover you back in. Narcissists, they look for the signals that you still love and or care for him or her. And as long as they see the signs that you care, they already know they have a chance of convincing you or hoovering you back in. So should the narcissist or the cluster B personality discard of you, use that time to critically think about what you've gone through. Have a support base. Express constructively what you have experienced. And to add to that, to make that support base even stronger, avoid the social media. In other words, don't go checking for him or her. That's a toughie. I know it. Social media has its advantages, okay? But when it comes to the narcissist and cluster B personality engaging in cyber stalking, right? And cyberbullying, social media doesn't seem so appealing at that time, which is understandable. So don't go checking for him or her. Don't go visit him or her. Don't accept their phone calls. Don't accept the friend request. And certainly try not to accept them when they suggest that you meet them somewhere. Oh, that's ooh. And a real red flag would be if they suggested that you meet them somewhere. Because a lot of narcissists have tried that one. A lot of cluster B personalities have tried that one with the exes. Okay, let's meet somewhere. And before you know it, they done hoovered you back in. Okay, because now they have you up close and personal. The voicemail messages. Okay, they may leave you a message. You don't have to accept. You can block the calls. That way you won't even receive the phone calls. And again, I understand that this is very tough. And calling him or her, yeah, that's a tough one. However, it's very much the game changer to avoid doing these things. Let's move forward. Tool number 2. Understand that the hoovering is all about the narcissist. His or her ego is in full effect at that time. Narcissists lack foresight, therefore are not pondering over how they have treated you in the past. They tend to repeat their mistakes without learning from them. So it's natural to be a little curious about if the narcissist is remorseful for their behavior, or some of the few choice negative words that they may have used when they were devaluing you, right? This is very natural. This is understandable. However, I say try not to obsess over that. Understand that the hoovering is all about the narcissist. Their ego is in full effect. They don't like to lose. If you are a primary source supplier, they absolutely are not going to like losing you. For that reason alone, it has nothing to do with them loving or caring or anything like this. They are incapable of emotionally regulating, therefore feeling empathy, therefore deeply connecting to others. Okay, they're not pondering whether or not they have treated you poorly. It's all about their ego. It's all about the false self-images of the narcissist and cluster B personality. They tend to go from one person to the next, and they repeat their mistakes without learning any valuable lessons from any encounter they have had with anyone. I know that sounds really dramatic, but when you factor in the narcissist and cluster B personality's inability to emotionally regulate and feel empathy for others, therefore deeply connecting with others, they're not able to do these things, then it becomes understandable. It becomes a little bit more clear to us that the narcissist and cluster B personality, they're not going to learn from their mistakes. They're just going to keep going. They're going to go from one person to the next. Okay, so just remember that the hoovering is all about them and no one else. Next tool, practice self-preservation, emotional discipline, personal boundaries, and assertion without apology. The narcissist has received narcissistic supply from you for which he or she erroneously believes that they are entitled to forever. Reclaim your personal power by choosing to live your life regardless of the narcissist's attempts to control you. The thing I really want to say about hoovering, there's a subtle aspect of the hoovering process that a lot of us overlook. I call it the 1-2 punch. This is a diabolical tactic that the narcissists often use. And again, there's an aspect of the hoovering that is very, very subtle. And that is when the narcissist recruits flying monkeys and or enablers to help them hoover you back in. If you're connected to one of those flying monkeys or several of them, if you're connected to any of the narcissist enablers, then more than likely the narcissist is going to come up in conversation. So the first sucker punch is when that happens. They're coming up in conversation. You've gone no contact, or they have new supply. They know that your heart is broken. So now they're trying to rub it in your face that they have new supply, right? But anyway, let's stick to the hoovering. The subtle aspect, again, is the first sucker punch, which is when the narcissist seems to hover over your life. They seem to linger over your life like a dark cloud. Wherever you move, they're there. Think of that helicopter that suspends over the ground but does not land. The narcissist is the same when it comes to your life. They hover or linger over your life like a dark cloud. So wherever you move, they're there also, but they don't make any contact. They may show up at your job. They may show up at your house. They may show up at places where you used to frequent, or you too used to frequent, or you still go to, a club, the gym, the library. They are there, but they keep their distance. You may walk by them. They may pop up where they can ensure that you will see him or her. All of this is to play with your mind as well as your heart. This is, again, the first sucker punch of the hoovering process that is very subtle. They're already working on hoovering you back in before actually hoovering you back in. The second sucker punch is when they have actually succeeded in hoovering you back in, because now you are calling, you're visiting, they're visiting. It's just like old times. But again, that's a toxic situation that is not in your favor. Please beware. Let's move on. References and resources. I want to remind everyone that the references and resources are in the description box below. I'm Luminous Star. I certainly hope everyone has enjoyed this video. You can find in the description box below more details about today's video. Wherever you are right now, of course, I wish you the very best. Stay tuned for more vlogs and stay tuned for more videos.